Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of the 5 Bytes podcast. I am your host, Rory Monahan. Let's get right into some news. Unfortunately in this episode, there are more patching woes. Now this isn't necessarily directly related to Meltdown and Spectre, however it could affect how you strategize to deal with this, since the patching woe or the issue is with the Windows Update patches for January. A KB article for KB 4056898 suggests that the information is only applicable to Windows 8.1 and Server 2012 R2. But when the patch is applied to domain controllers, it causes problems with GPO and SYSVOL. So when you then try to edit certain policies, you receive an error in GPMMC. And you can see this error in the YouTube video version of this episode. But it states the data present in the reparse point buffer is invalid. Jeremy Moskowitz's blog post on this issue also suggests that this is a problem for Server 2016 too, so I would suggest you tread carefully with your January patching. As of this episode, Microsoft is working on a resolution and will provide an update in an upcoming release, and the only known solution right now is to just remove the patch. HP unveiled their latest Spectre laptop, the X360, which has a very unique and interesting security feature. The laptop features a button which masks out the display for anyone who's sitting around you or possibly trying to peer over your shoulder. The feature works by having a backlight which focuses one light source through the light control film towards the middle of the display, which in turn enables a viewing cone that makes the screen easily visible to whoever's directly in front of it centered, but then masks it from anyone who may be trying to peer over your shoulder. Microsoft also just announced a significant price drop for Azure standard support, bringing the price down from $300 a month to $100 a month. They are also shortening response time for critical cases from 2 hours to 1 hour. This is likely to compete with Amazon's AWS support, which starts at $100 a month and also promises a 1 hour response time for critical cases. Whatever the reason, competition is healthy and really good for us as customers. In episode 1, I talked a little bit about Computes, the world's first mesh computing network. If you'd like to join their incredible peer-to-peer network and enable all of this great work they're trying to do, the beta is now open. So to learn more about that, you can go back to the episode 1 of this podcast or just go to Compute's own site. As always, I'll contain links within the YouTube description as well as on my site. In other news, VMware have now closed for applications for their vExpert program. I'd like to wish good luck to all of those who have applied for 2018. I also wanted to mention a few community events happening this year. The IT Dev Connections Conference will be in Dallas on October 15th through 18th, and registration for that is now open. The Midwest Management Summit in Minneapolis is also filling up fast, so register now to avoid disappointment. That one's May 14th through 17th. We will also be holding the second ever Citrix Masters Retreat in Prescott, Arizona from April 20th through 22nd, with registration for this one opening soon. If you aren't currently participating in any local user groups, I suggest you check out your local CUGC and VMUG or VMUG. It does no harm to join those communities to at least get email alerts of upcoming events, and you never know, one of them might interest you. Now for this week's hot job. This week's hot job is for the program managers of the world. The Hawaiian Electric Company in Honolulu is looking for somebody with a PMP or equivalent certification, and it appears the job is more aligned with the networking and communication side of IT. The candidate must have extensive experience. I picked this one because I often daydream of just upping sticks and moving to Hawaii myself, so maybe this will entice somebody out there with more guts than me to actually go through and do it. Now for this week's scripts, tricks, and tips. For all you Raspberry Pi enthusiasts, the great Sonic Pi has released a new version for Windows and macOS, version 3.1. This was released on January 23rd. If you're not familiar with this product, it's a free tool for live coding with music. It's a really great learning tool for young people or anybody interested in coding. Thanks to Paul Winstanley for putting this product on my radar for the work he does volunteering at his local coder dojo. It'd be really great for that sort of thing, for teaching young people coding. So check that out. I'd also like to acknowledge a great community contributor, the amazing Carl Webster, whose scripts have now surpassed 400,000 downloads. Congrats, Carl, and thanks for all you do for the community. And that's it for this week's episode. Thanks as always for listening, and catch you in the next one.